What an audience. Probably I should have built my command voice, but I'm just a journalist and I'm just a filmmaker. Well, at the same time, I'm a warrior, I'm a soldier. Probably I don't look like one, but I am. I don't need to wear a camouflage. I don't need to brand a weapon. I don't need to wear a body armor, but I'm a warrior in the battle that is ongoing every day here in Lithuania. You would tell, it's 2012. We are members of NATO, of the EU, and we are as safe as never before. And you will be right. We are safe as never before by military means. But when it comes to our minds, to our mentality, we are still vulnerable because of other war, silent, invisible, but very dangerous. It's the information war that has been carried out by our neighbors, by the countries we want to live peacefully and happily with, but unfortunately, they want us to be them. They want our mind to be like theirs. They want that we do not believe in free market, in ability to educate ourselves, in ability to travel throughout the world, in many, many, many values and virtues we are enjoying for 22 years. So, why are they trying to keep attached to the Soviet past? Actually, I see a lot of faces of young men and women who grew up already after our independence. So, some of them don't even speak Russian. Some of them don't understand the mental attachment to this Soviet Union. But sometimes we still feel that we are in the target. So, if I stand like a soldier, I will describe you. The objective of the mission is to attack our mindset. The weapons, media, internet, TV, radio. The weapon status, red, and the targets are on this slide. So, we see the red stars, we see hammers and sickles. Happily, most of those symbols coming from the past are now illegal. They're equaled to the Nazi memorabilia, if we call this way, but we still can find some kind of Soviet sausages and other nostalgic things, though I remember the Soviet times, there was no good sausage, only an eatable one. So why should I think about that nostalgically? We also see red stars in our TV shows. We also are affected by many means, through internet sites, through commentaries. But today, I would like again to talk about the attack on our national identity. When the teacher at school describes it, what is national identity? It's culture, it's languages we speak in this country, each and every language of each and every nationality. And of course, it's our history. If we remove one single component, our national identity can be ruined. A famous painting from the end of 19th century, painted by famous Polish painter. It actually depicts one of the most glorious parts of our history. When Lithuania was a monarchy, which spread from the Baltic Sea to the Black Sea, which included many cultures, and those cultures prospered. In this picture, we see this red figure. It's a Grand Duke, Vytautas, And of course we see the dying figure, the figure of the dying Grand Master, Ulrich von Jungingen. And he is being killed by two men. One of them with naked chest, with the fur, animal fur on him. He's supposed to be Lithuanian. Well, what can we say about Lithuanian army, about Lithuanian ability to fight in the 15th century? Well, there is a lot to say. This is a capital of mighty German order, Teutonic order. We call them Crusaders. Nowadays it's in Poland, Malbork. It was called Marienburg. You see the huge size of this castle. The whole military know-how was put into this castle. And this is one of the halls with a pillar and beautiful decoration on this pillar, which was carved out of stone approximately 100 years before the Žalgiris battle. It depicts a scene of fight between the Crusaders and Lithuanians. You see those Lithuanians in helmets, very specific helmets. So they're having flags, which means that they are units, they are organized units. They have various weapons, for example, this armament, chain maul. They have spears and lances. They have swords. Everything shows that Crusaders, when they came to this country, when they came to spread the belief in Jesus Christ, they faced not just pagans, heathens. They faced very organized force with weapons which were no inferior, actually, than weapons that had German order knights. This is the scene. You see, we have archers, we have shields of very specific type. Later, actually, those shields became popular in Europe. The European took this form of shield from Lithuanians because it was very effective in protecting the body of the soldier. And this is what we see when it comes to historical reconstruction. A group of archaeologists, historians, put the picture of the 14th century soldier, and it's in front of you. A lot of armor details covering legs, covering shoulders, the chain maul all over the body, the helmet. Yeah, serious warrior. The battle axe, and of course, a sword by your side. And this is a picture of what we were facing 6 years ago. This is European knight. Again, chain maul over the body. Again, arms and hands protection. Maybe little more iron. And another helmet. So, do you see a lot of difference between those two pictures? Maybe a slight. Which means that no one in animal skins could have even approached this proud and battle-hardened knight from European family, maybe a royal prince, or maybe just a simple crusader who came to fight pagans, heathens here. Actually, what they saw was a very well organized and armed formation like this. And this is historic fact. I have a pleasure to introduce you Professor Sven Ekdahl, a Swedish man who spent more than 40 years studying the old archives in Germany. And actually, the results of his study tell that the Grunwald battle was completely different story from what we used to read in our textbooks at school, what we used to read on the internet. He's actually saying that the battle itself did not take place in this nice and beautiful location, the monument. It was in another point. So we know that Lithuanians attacked the small town of Gilgenburg from the north. Then they moved towards the Grunfelde, which is now Grunwald, and Professor Ekdahl shows us the picture we usually see in the textbooks. This is how the troops were located before the battle. What he suggests, the situation was completely different. And the battle actually took place more than 3 kilometers to the side. And we came to this battlefield in the early morning at 6 o'clock, and we imagine what Grand Duke Vytautas saw. Actually, he saw almost nothing, because the sun was shining into his into his eyes. Has anybody played tennis or basketball? Probably yes. And you know, it's difficult to play against the sun. So what actually Lithuanians did? They wait. They wait until sun turns and the conditions for the battle become favorable. The legend says that Lithuanian and Polish did not start the fight because of the prayer that King Jogaila was taken. He was praying all the morning. He was praying for the lives and for the fate of all the Christians that they're going to fight in this field. But that was not a story, actually. He might have prayed, but Vytautas, before sending in his troops, he waited for another opportunity, for favorable opportunity to start the battle. There is another story that German Grandmaster, who stood in a very favorable position, facing the enemy with the sun in his back, said, okay, we have to encourage Lithuanians to stand in battle. And he sent 2 swords. The heralds from the Grand Master came to the king and said, here are 2 swords. If you are lacking ones to start the battle, we are sending you. Take them and fight. But it was the reason why Lithuanians did not take this sword and did not fight at 6 a.m. They fought at 9 a.m. And of course, finally, they won. There are many stories surrounding this historic event. There are many legends. And when it came to 600th anniversary, some of these legends reappeared. And then I talked to my father, who was a filmmaker for 40 years, and we said, why don't we make a film about that? Why don't we show it in our schools? Why don't we distribute it widely on the internet in order our history to become available to everybody? And we did. Actually, we met a bunch of the guys of same thinking from the Baltic production, from Strictly Baltic, and we made this film, which is going to be screened on the 23rd of November, on Lithuanian Army's Day. So, this is the way we took a fight in this information warfare. And this is the way we are providing our answer. So, if anybody dares, try to attack us.